Jane Clarke is runner-up in the published section of the adult winners. She is widely published in poetry journals. She lives in Wicklow. Widely published in poetry journals in both Ireland and the UK. She's won many awards. The most recent was the inaugural Poems for Patients, which was run by the Galway University Hospitals Trust, and that took place during during Court, I think, this year in Galway.
Thanks, Geraldine. My poem called Cut is in the voice of a teenage girl who's from a nomadic tribe in Somalia and now lives in Ireland. Cut. I have grown accustomed to questions. Where do you come from? How long are you here? Why did you leave? My answers say little, but seem to satisfy. How to describe sunrise across the savannah, my father and brothers following a herd of camels and goats, are seated at noon beneath thorn trees for shade. Who would believe, while my mother took me away, that some morning after prayers the women would come for me, hold me firm for Merrion, who wields the stone-sharpened blade? How to imagine the darkness of days in the hut, the mat of long grasses, the ointment of myrrh offered with love to stem the blood. Thank you. As a child, I didn't understand that despair was a neighbour of love, and if you were lucky, it stayed beyond the garden gate, visiting from time to time to borrow sugar, test faith. As a child, I didn't understand that when my mother showed me the nightie, toothbrush, nylons, miniature Bible and summer dress she kept packed in the suitcase under their bed, it was herself she was telling, I can go if I want to. Sometimes I checked, had she emptied it yet? Sometimes I wanted to shout, go if you're going, why wait? I didn't understand. It was the suitcase that helped her to stay. White fields. Stopping by his jacket on a hook at the end of the dresser, she breathes him in. Cigarettes, silage and brill cream. She touches rough tweed, worn collar and cuffs, pocketed coins, hay seeds, and the cold steel of his bone-handled penknife. She recalls mornings in fields white with hoarfrost, when the heat between them would thaw the frozen pond. He'd cut dark twine, shake out bales in slivers of warmth for breathing clouds of Frisians circled round, waiting. When the children came, he stayed longer outside, always a lamb or a calf to mind, a fallen wall that needed him. And then these last two poems are later on in their relationship. Winter. Since the trouble with his heart, she tries to keep him in. But before the breakfast tea is cold, he shrugs on his coat, lifts his cap, blackthorn stick, and heads out across the fields to count cattle and sheep, check how far the flood has risen, break ice for cows at the pond. There's not a pick on him. He feels every breeze like the beach that shelter Rooney's field. But he will not wear the scarf or gloves she offers daily. Back in the kitchen for a fry, he warms his cheek against hers, shows her his hands, thick as fencing stakes, swollen, purple with the cold. Laughing, he asks, "Did you ever see such shovels?" And the last one, very recent. Back of an envelope. I don't know what's come over your father, my mother says on the phone. He left a note on the back of an envelope. Gone herding, won't be long. Where did he think I'd think he was gone? All those years, if I asked where he was going, where he had been, he'd act like I'd tethered him to a post. And then today, he leaves a note. Thank you.